Each practice period has a head student. Traditionally, the head student is simply appointed by the Dharma teacher. At Appamada, the process of selecting who will be the head student for a practice period is distinctive. Potential candidates are discussed at an all-council meeting, and the council members then agree on who will be nominated for this role. Because the potential candidates are in the meeting, they can share their concerns, express their willingness, and the timing of that role as their life circumstances permit. They also discuss this with their Dharma teachers. The names of the nominees are given to the Dharma teachers, who make the ultimate decision for that practice period. In this way, the process is quite open, and there is less potential for preconceptions of favoritism by teachers. Typically, the teachers will follow the recommendations from the councils.
Ed students, excuse me, Ed students act as a friend to the Sangha. They teach an introduction to Zen class of their own design, offer 3 Dharma talks, and schedule informal teas with Sangha members by appointment. The practice period begins with the head student entering ceremony and ends with the head student closing ceremony based on the traditional model.
Buddhist action now. There's don't you want spaces after the colons?
Yes.
It doesn't look like there are, but also for the what is the road? There's no quote mark, and it looks like the quotes are inch marks. And also, I was complaining so much with the word "go." It has 2 quotes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But other than that,
I think I copied this off the website, actually.
oh no,
Yeah.
I'll make a note
Yeah. It
and,
might need,
and fix it.
yeah. It might need something done.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
Website. What is the way?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look at that.
I think that's copied directly from the website, actually.
Monk, what is the one road to Yaman? Aman, personal experience. Monk, what is the way? Oman, go. Monk, what is the road? Where is the way? Aman, begin walking it.
I like that. Thank you. When the political and cultural situation became fraught following the 2016 election, many Sangha members were drawn to the path of social activism. They wanted a way to gather together and join others in protests and political actions as voter registration as such as voters registration drives, letters to legislators, advocacy, and so on. The situation was causing so much distress, I realized that we needed to do something. Yet each person needs to decide for themselves how to engage in such activ- what they want to be in such activities. And there are a wide range of ways for people to get involved in causes or movements that matter the most to them. I wanted the Zendo to be a place free from coercion for any, so a place where those who were already engaged in social action could find restorative peace in meditation. Still, I wanted to provide a way for people to come together and engage as Buddhists, and as led by their vows and ethical concerns. And so we created Buddhist Action Now with the website, I'm going to assume is
Yes.
correct,
Yeah.
which we describe on its website this way. The purpose of Buddhist Action Now is to provide in the public sphere a platform for collective action and speech that manifests and advocates for the Dharma values of compassion, wisdom, connection, ethical action, and care. By our vow, we speak out and take action on behalf of all beings for their liberation and relief from suffering.
Specifically, we confront and oppose the forces of greed, hatred, ignorance, and fear. We provide exemplars of dynamic, diverse, caring, and cooperative communities. We work to transform public consciousness and action toward all that is wholesome, connected, caring, and liberating for all beings and for our planet. We hold weekly meetings to train, plan, and practice ways to work together in the service of the Dharma for this troubled world.
Studios. Imagination links us to our origins. It summons us from nowhere and returns us there when it is done. A brightness fell out of heaven, and we carry it everywhere in our breasts. Each puddle holds the same moon, the Chinese poet said. Each of us is a vial of primal light. When we make, when we imagine, we serve that source. We connect spirit and soul. John Tarrant, The Light Inside the Dark. I see we don't need that period. Studios are
Wait,
new.
do you want to italicize the light inside the dark?
Yes, yeah. Yes. Studios are new creative collaboratories where people come together to share creative energies for envisioning, designing, crafting, and building in a particular arena or topic. Appamada studios are fueled by shared creative energy, curiosity, Zen practice, and vows. The numbering of studios suggests that different kinds of Appamada studios are possible. For example, Zen in art, Zen in parenting, etc. What they share is a creative approach.
A studio may be bounded in time or continue as long as its members wish. A studio has a lead facilitator or facilitators who must be at least council members and experience level. Guidelines, reminders at the start of a session. This studio brings together our creative energy in the service of our vow. The purpose of the studio, i.e., writing Appamada's story. The value of multiple perspectives, imaginations, and creative energies. Guidelines for giving and receiving feedback. Confidentiality. Supportive generosity, dana.
Studios need a method for gathering and sharing creative contributions. This does not necessarily mean via Zoom. A way to provide access to ongoing work for feedback and discussion. Can you scroll that up a little?
Sorry.
Whoops. You're going to say, okay. A plan, at least, for presentation, sharing studio work publicly. There are a wide range of possibilities for this. Each studio can determine its own methods coordinated by the facilitators.
Period.
Yep.
Okay, so hold on here. Now we're talking about our own group.
Depth and practice. Since 2011, a study group has met on Monday evenings to read together and discuss books that are challenging and profound in order to deepen our practice of Zen. It's an open group and anyone is welcome to drop in. If you don't have a copy of our current book, we are happy to share. We take turns reading one paragraph at a time and discussing the implications for practice or any questions that arise. In other words, we don't rush to finish, but savor the resonance of the text with our practice. We record each meeting and post it on SoundCloud.com for those folks who miss a meeting. See the list of books we've read together on the facing page. If this method appeals to you, please join us. It is even possible to participate from a distance online using the link on the Appamada main calendar. The only thing I see is that we post it also not just for people who've missed a meeting.
Right. So should I just take out that part?
Who miss a meeting?
Yeah.
You could take out for those folks who miss a meeting.
Right.
Yeah.
That could just come out. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, and you have an indentation in the beginning of the group.
Oh.
Dialogic.
Go on. Well, I didn't read that sentence. The group meets Monday evenings from 7 to 8:30. Check the calendar to see which book we are reading. Okay.
Dialogic journal. A dialogic journal can deepen your experience of your reading and connect it with your meditation practice. On the left-hand page, a copy passage or phrase that caught your attention, provoked you, or interested you in some way. On the right-hand page, respond to that quote. My suggestions. 1. Your reflections on the quote. 2. How do you... I'm looking because it looks like there should be a space. No. Okay. How do you think it might relate to your practice in some way? 3. Any questions that arise for you around it? I think you do want a space after the period,
Right.
after each of those numbers,
Yeah. I'll
at
put
least one.
Yeah.
When you go to do that, your program might indent it for you.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you
No.
want to fix that or not.
Affinity doesn't do anything you don't tell it to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wish I had pets and children like that.
Do you want periods for the 1 and 3 and a question mark for 2?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so. Okay. Now this part was written by Ellen. Is it me or is it Milan? It's Milan?
It's me. Yeah, I just had a question, and it's the dialogic
Uh-huh.
journal.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I don't know if the subtitle, it's written in another, it's not
Right.
bold. I don't remember.
Yeah, I just changed it to just a
Okay.
straight italic. So you're right, it's not the right format.
What I'm kind of curious about is I don't know that we've ever done anything with that.
I know, it's just there as a suggestion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is the one on Sazen mornings? No, it's another thing. The dialogic journal.
It's associated with depth and practice, so it's a suggestion for people who are reading along. I mean, it's a good way to sort of engage with the text and raise questions and reflect on parts of it. People haven't really been doing it, but I want to leave it there on the website because I want people to have a suggestion of it. Yeah.
Thank you. Women in Zen. Women in Zen is a group dedicated to study and contemplating the many contributions women have made to Buddhism. But it is more than just a study group. We have a lively discussion about what these teachings mean to our own practice. There are men and women in the group. The history and wisdom of Buddhist women is valuable for everybody. I wonder if, many genders have arose in the last decade, and if just, I don't know, if just saying men and women could exclude others.
Uh-huh. I think she's trying to point out that it's not just for women, but there are men in the group. I don't know about
No,
others.
no.
By
I think,
non-binary.
but if you want to be inclusive, there are not,
There's
I
a
want to say they're
variety
not
of
solely
genders
women.
in the group.
You could just say the group is not gender specific. Or
Bingo.
So vague. I mean, that's so vague. Um, I don't think that, yeah.
But I
You
think that
want,
she's right about there are men and women. You can say everyone, you don't have to be a woman to be in this group,
I think that's
or you don't
so,
need to.
I think
Yeah,
that's so pallid, like so, it's like, yeah, you don't have to be a woman to be in this group, but I think the fact that there are men and women who are active in the group is important. Like
yeah.
not just some vague idea that it would be okay, but that there actually are men and women in the group. And
Or you could say there are men and women in the group, and open, and it's open to anybody.
you could
yeah,
say all genders are active in this group.
no, I don't want to do that. Um, Here's my thought. Um, if a man is reading this book, I want him to know that other men are in the group
Hmm.
and to feel like that's okay. So, without specifying, a man reading this is not going to believe that he's welcome in this group. You can't just sort of do big hand waving of, yeah, we welcome everybody. That's not going to impact a man who's reading this book. This is a crucial point, actually, because it says women in Zen. The natural thing is for a guy to think, yeah, that's a bunch of women just reading about this topic. Their natural impression is that it's a woman's group.
Right.
And so you have to counter that, I think, quite directly.
Well, can you say that this group has longtime participants who are both men and women?
I don't, yeah.
Yeah, I understand. I was thinking in transgender people and all of these new generations, but
Yeah.
I understand.
So I think you could say there are men and women in the group, which is open to people of all genders. You could say that.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
Yeah, genders or persuasions, whatever.
Uh, it's just a landmine. It's just a landmine, a linguistic fucking landmine. This whole thing, you know. Um,
You could just say, show up if you dare.
I'm just going to say you're not going to like this, but uh, I'm just going to say there are men and women in the group, which is open to everyone.
Yeah.
So shoot me, you know.
No, it's
Yeah.
it's true. It's accurate and it's true.
Yeah. It's just however you define it or specify it, somebody's going to be pissed off.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, I think the way you said it just now, I think that then you, if there's ever anything that comes up, you're saying, well, we said anyone. So we're pointed out
Right.
that there are men and women in the group, but we say it's open to anyone. So who else would there be, right?
Right.
So you're obviously including um, the possibility of other genders.
We
So
even
I
have
think the way
cats
that's
show up.
phrased is very good,
Okay, good. All right.
personally.
Okay, good. Um, okay, where are we?
The history and
I mean, who's reading? Am I reading?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. The last sentence is what I'm reading, or the next paragraph?
I think it's over the years.
Okay. Over the years, we have not only contemplated the most ancient teachings of Buddhist women, but also the wisdom of contemporary Buddhist teachers. We have read several translations of the Enlightenment poems of the first women to be ordained by the Buddha. Oops, that's going to be a capital B. And we read their histories in The First Buddhist Women by Susan Murcott. We found Grace Shearson's book, Zen Women, to be a valuable history of our female Zen lineage. I actually have italicized these already, these titles, so don't worry about that. Those of us in the Women in Zen group feel it is important to study these women who came before us. Their contributions were ignored and almost lost over, hold on here. I have a different page break here for me. And almost lost over centuries. Fortunately, times have changed, and many wonderful books have been written by contemporary Buddhist women. We've read several in the Women in Zen group, including books by Joko Beck and Joan Halifax. The first book we read in the group was Hidden Lamp, edited by Florence Kaplow and Susan Moon. Now, about 10 years later, we are reading it again. The wisdom of our ancient sisters was very nearly lost to us. By studying contemporary women teachers, we do our part to ensure women's wisdom is appreciated now and in future generations. Perhaps most importantly, our perspective of our own practice and place in history has expanded. Here's what we've read together.
The First Buddhist Women, translations and commentary on the Therigatha by Susan Murcott. Therigatha, Poems of the First Buddhist Women, translated by Charles Halsey. The First Free Women, Poems of the Early Buddhist Nuns by Maddie Weingast. This book contains lovely interpretations of the poems rather than translations. The Woman Who Raised the Buddha, The Extraordinary Life of Mahapajapati by Wendy Garling. Zen Women, Beyond Tea Ladies, Iron Maidens, and Macho Masters by Grace Shearson.
Oops, sorry. Let me move this up.
There's
I just want to.
there's one space. Wine gas. This book.
Oh, yeah. An extra space there. Okay, there we go.
The Hidden Lamp, Stories from 25 Centuries of Awakened Women, edited by Florence Kaplow. That's spelled wrong, Kaplow.
Oh, yeah, Carplow.
And Susan Moon. Everyday Zen by Joko Beck. Nothing Special by Joko Beck. Ordinary Wonder by Joko Beck. Standing at the Edge, Finding Freedom Where Fear and Courage Meet by Joan Halifax. Ellen H.
We can read the facing page.
And it looks like it needs a space after the hidden lamp.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And also, I don't know, Courage Meet by Joan Halifax. Does that have a, between meet and by?
Oh, the by, we've made them all big B's. Yeah. No, I don't think so.
It's
You know, this by, I think I once said something to Ellen about it, but we don't really do that, do we? The word by?
I'm fine with that. I don't want them to be capitalized.
Okay.
It just has to be lowercase. So I'm fixing that as we speak. We want to read this facing page.
Okay.
Let me ask a quick question first. Every other time that you had a list like that,
Yeah.
you had it on the facing page. You put the list on the facing page, at least the last two times.
Yeah, this is more incorporated. And I wanted to include it in this section this way.
Right.
Let's see.
Okay. I was just wondering if, yeah.
I'm just fixing all these buys.
Is it explained at some point that these next sections are actually written by students that are leading these groups, or because it's the person changes?
This is the only one that is written by somebody who is not me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I put her name on it. It's the only one. I asked her to write it because I knew she knew way more about what they had been up to, especially recently. Okay.
All right, can you scroll down a little? I can't get the top in yet.
Wait. Of course.
There you go.
Yeah.
You let me know when we're ready.
Ready?
Okay. Appamada, the millionaire's daughter. Born in a high-ranking family with much property, great wealth, consummate in complexion and figure, I was the daughter of Macha, the treasurer. King's sons sought for me. Rich merchants' sons longed for me. One of them sent my father a messenger, saying, "Give me an Appamada. I will give in return 8 times her weight in jewels and gold." But I, having seen the one self-awakened, unsurpassed, excelling the world, paid homage to his feet, sat down to one side. He, Gautama, from sympathy, taught me the Dhamma, and as I sat in that very seat, I attained the third fruit of non-return. Then I cut off my hair and went forth into homelessness. Today is the 7th day since I made craving wither away. Nice.
Yeah. I got rid of that bracket that doesn't belong there.
Good.
Okay. And here I fixed the spacing on this. For some reason the spacing was messed up, but I fixed that. Oh, this is the other one that was written by someone else. So this is by Shashi. I think this is by Shashi. Yeah, it's by Shashi.
Flowers group. My flower day, that has inch marks too, I think. I can't tell. At Appamada, always begin with a wellspring of joy. The morning unfolds with intention. I start with meditation, then a swim. Each lap, a rhythmic recitation of the Anapanasati Sutta. It's a mindfulness of breathing practice learned from our teacher Peg, a way to align mind and body with every breath. Should I read the whole thing?
Is that whichever you want?
I'll read another paragraph. As I shower, anticipation builds for the drive to the flower shop. What treasures will I discover today? What colors, what shapes will capture my eye?
Entering the shop is a delightful assault on the senses. Wow, the sheer abundance of fresh, beautiful flowers is overwhelming, and my heart swells with joy. I wander, taking in the unique beauty and color and form of each bloom. I'll select a promising bunch and then carry it around, experimenting with the various com companions. Excuse me.
Sometimes,
Sometimes,
oh, sorry.
no, you go right ahead. No, go right ahead.
Sorry, sorry. Sometimes I'll even ask for a salesperson's opinion before settling on the perfect match. Flowers in hand, I head to my destination.
Go ahead.
Stepping into the temple, I savor the immediate sense of peace and quiet. After bowing before the zendo, I enter, collect the small vase, and bring it to the kitchen. There, I discard the old flowers and lovingly arrange the new ones before returning to the vase to its place on the altar. I immerse myself in the process, cherishing the solitude.
I repeat this ritual, moving from room to room. The silence is incredibly refreshing, a profound sense of peace that reminds me of quiet moments spent in churches years ago. The usual mental chatter simply dissolves, replaced by a feeling of spacious, tranquil calm. There's an undeniable power in sacred spaces. They ground and rejuvenate us. It's a truly wonderful feeling. Once all the rooms are adorned, I take a few moments to capture their beauty in photographs, sharing them with our Sangha members to enjoy. Finally, I bow out and drive home, my heart full of satisfaction. What a beautiful morning indeed. Shashi A. You can see some of the beautiful flowers. Oh my gosh, they're so gorgeous.
Mhm.
We're so lucky.
Paramita Study, an 8-month series, Becoming an Oasis in a World on Fire, a study of the Paramitas. Does that seem... It doesn't really seem like a sentence.
Right. Let's see.
An 8-month.
Yeah.
Another
I think it'd be
offering
just
is an 8-month series. Another.
I would say we are
you
currently.
could just repeat the Paramita study at the beginning of the sentence is an 8-month series, or comma, an 8-month series.
Or you could eliminate
An
this
8-month series.
offering. So an 8-month series is a collaborative endeavor.
I said we are currently engaged in an 8-month series, Becoming an Oasis in a World on Fire, a study of the Paramitas. This offering is a collaborative.
Oh, okay.
So that's probably the best way to do it.
Okay.
Just needed a little bit more of a transition in there.
Yeah. Will you always be in the middle of an 8-month series?
No, that's why I said we are currently engaged in it.
Right, but currently is when the person is reading the book.
That's when the book is written.
It it sounds like, as you're reading, especially because this is so personal, I believe that it would sound like to many readers that that's what's currently happening, as opposed that that is an offering to happen all the time. Just a thought.
Yeah.
Or you could have just say we have an 8-month series.
It's not permanent yet. Like, we don't know. So, okay.
Or at the time of, there you go, at the time of this writing.
I just wrote in 2025, 26.
Yeah.
They're announcing a new course called the Five Remembrances.
Yeah, that's a different thing. I'm not putting that
Yeah.
in because I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll do something different.
Okay. All right. Paramita Study, an 8-month series, Becoming an Oasis in a World on Fire, a study of the Paramitas. This offering is a collaborative endeavor between the Appamada, Awakening Together, Just This, and Open Door Zen communities. It is an invitation to cultivate steadfast compassion in times of widespread uncertainty, upheaval, and suffering. In a world burning, literally and figuratively, with climate distress, social division, and collective trauma, it is easy to feel reactive, overwhelmed, or numb. The Bodhisattva path offers a profoundly different orientation, the vow to stay grounded in love and serve the liberation of all beings, even amidst chaos. And serve the liberation of all beings. That seems a little choppy to me. And serve for the liberation, serve. Okay. The six paramitas, generosity, ethical discipline, patience, energy, meditation, and wisdom, are time-tested practices that offer balance, clarity, and care. This series will support practitioners in exploring how these qualities are not distant ideals, but lived practices that transform both the world and the one who practices them.
Informal activities. Regular informal gatherings create warm social connections and spiritual friendships throughout the Sangha. Family and friends are welcome too. Friday mornings following Zazen and our brief work period, we gather at a nearby coffee house for breakfast, tacos, and conversation. As mentioned above, following the Sunday morning program, we enjoy an informal brunch at Central Market, where the cafe features indoor and outdoor seating, a playground, and walking trail. Appamada hosts a monthly potluck, online and on-site, often including a conversation cafe or a film night. Following formal ceremonies, there is usually a potluck reception.
Of course, the pandemic abruptly terminated in-person gatherings, which have been gradually restored. But during the pandemic, we started a regular morning walk in the neighborhood, an opportunity for warm connection and conversation, even as we maintained a safe distance between us. It was a precious occasion for being together in the midst of a time of devastating social isolation.
I have a quick comment.
Huh?
Before Appamada, I didn't know what was a conversation cafe. I don't know if this is just my ignorance, but I found it pretty interesting, and maybe for some readers could be nice if it could be explained.
Okay, it's explained in part 7, tributaries, but I'm going to put a note about that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's that's where we describe it. Sorry.
Good idea to reference back to it.
Yeah.
Are we at, of course?
Yeah. No, I think. Oh yeah, well, yeah.
Of course, the pandemic abruptly terminated in-person gatherings, which have been gradually restored. Oh no, you read that, didn't you, Kim?
Yeah.
There are, of course, many other opportunities for casual connection and conversation at Appamada. On the porch before or after Zazen, Sangha work days, and so on, common to most Sanghas. Still, we feel it is important to establish some regular informal social activities as a way of strengthening the bonds of friendship and warm connections to Appamada. It's another form of situation crafting.
I think the last two paragraphs contains the expression of course, and it sounded, I don't know if I'm wrong, but it sounded a little repetitive.
Mm-hmm.
There's a space before Flint.
Oh, uh-huh.
Affiliated Sanghas. Flint explains, one of the joys of my professional life has been to teach others some of the skills of counseling and psychotherapy. I found a great resonance with the Hakami method because it was, as the founder Ron Kurtz called it, assisted self-discovery in mindfulness. There's a space there. When Ron first showed some of his friends and colleagues the essence of the method at Naropa, a Buddhist-inspired university, the response was that he was developing a method of applied Buddhism. I was fortunate to know Ron and train with him alongside his most senior students and teacher, Donna Martin, near the end of his life. I was designated by him as one of his lineage holders.
Madison, Wisconsin. During my time with Ron, I met two wonderful psychotherapists from Madison, Wisconsin, who were attending a workshop titled Hakomi for the Buddhist Minded in Austin, Texas in 2004. The workshop was led by Ron and several of us who were not only Hakomi trainers, but who were also Buddhist teachers. Out of my shared experiences with a couple of the students that week, I was invited to teach in Madison beginning in early 2005. I continue to return each year to teach Hakomi within a Buddhist framework, and the group slowly evolved into a beautifully robust Sangha, the Open Door Zen community, which is very active today. I remain a guiding teacher for the Sangha, but the group is also led by Suzanne Kilkus, a fully entrusted lay Zen teacher in the Appamada line.
Do you think it's clear that this is Flint still talking?
Yeah, it says Flint explains, right?
No, but in the next, but for each paragraph, you see.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
UK and Switzerland. There was also an established Hakomi training group in the UK, initiated and organized by retired physician Jenny Bennett, beginning in the early 2000s. The training was held in Sheffield, England, and I was invited to join the teaching team in 2007. As we met over those early years, it was clear that there was also a longing for a deepening of mindfulness practices, which were at the heart of the method. Knowing that I was a Zen priest and having established a warm connection to the group, we decided to begin meditation practices as an adjunct to the Hakomi training, and ultimately to form a small sitting group, or Zen Sangha, in Sheffield in 2010. This small group called itself Nothing Special and flourished over these past many years.
I lost it.
It's at the top of the page here. Meanwhile,
Okay. Thank you. Meanwhile, one of my students in the UK, who actually lived in Switzerland, invited me to lead a retreat in the Alps in 2009. We continued to meet in the same wonderful mountain setting for 10 years. Inspired by one of these retreats in 2011, on the theme of Nothing Missing, a group in Lancaster, UK, started a sitting group in February 2012. Like so many other groups, they met weekly as a small group in someone's home. I was invited to lead a retreat in Lancaster in 2013, and the group, now calling themselves Nothing Missing, started meetings.
I would say just started meeting.
Okay. Started meeting as an open group at the Fields Meeting House. That Sangha has continued to flourish and grow, with Josh Gifford and Trudy Johnston being entrusted as lay teachers. Now these two Sanghas, along with another small sitting group, Nothing Extra, have joined under the umbrella of Just This, a consortium of practitioners under my guidance, following the teachings and general practice forms of the larger Appamada community. We are fortunate that students from all across the UK have joined in this wholesome and encouraging practice community. Another group which I have guided in the south of England includes a small sitting group in East Grinstead and another in Chichester. The Chichester group calls itself Nothing More, in the style of the earlier groups in the north.
Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota. A psychologist from Minneapolis, Minnesota, Ryan Van Wyck, regularly traveled to attend retreats in Madison, Wisconsin with the do you see the The words are switched.
Yeah.
Open Door Group. Ryan, along with his wife Emily, were two of the founders of the Minnesota Trauma Project. They shared an interest in effective psychological work based in spiritual practice. I was invited to train therapists, but instead offered to lead retreats for the therapists themselves rather than more skill training in psychotherapy. The first retreat in the Twin Cities was in 2017, and I've continued to teach there each year as the Awakening Together Zen community has taken shape. They are now a fully engaged practice community aside from the Trauma Project with regular sitting, classes, and precepts training.
Thank you. Little Rock, Arkansas. The Ecumenical Buddhist Society of Little Rock is a well-established Buddhist center, which is home for several groups representing diverse Buddhist lineages. For many years, a very senior Zen teacher from Japan, Kaido Fukushima Rashi, traveled from Japan to teach at EBS. Following his death in 2011, the center was without a guiding teacher for Zen students. In 2019, Judith Elaine, a longtime student of Fukushima Rashi, had practiced with him not only at Tofuku Jai in Japan, but also hosted him in Little Rock, asked if I would lead a retreat in Arkansas. Since 2019, I have continued a warm relationship with EBS and the small but dedicated group of Zen students who practice together there. Where you first use, okay, up here where it says the Ecumenical Buddhist Society of Little Rock,
Mm-hmm.
I believe that you should put in parentheses EBN because EBS.
Uh-huh.
Or the first time you say EBS, you can
Right.
put in parentheses the
Yeah, no,
Ecumenical
I'll
Buddhist
put it up
Society.
there. Yeah.
Okay.
Mahasangha. Disaffiliated sanghas had often shared programs with each other and with Appamada on an informal basis. But recently, especially throughout the Paramitas program, we have been forming into a Mahasangha that develops closer connections and collaborative teachings together. This is an exciting development, and we are looking forward to seeing how it evolves.
Okay. That's the end of that whole part.
Yay. Good
Yeah.
job.
Good job, everybody. Seriously. That's a long chapter, but it's necessary, I think.
Well, we just have 5 minutes, so maybe it's a good time to.
Yeah, we could stop here and pick up in the January meeting when we come back together again. I think it's January 5th. That's when we come back together. So we could stop and do a little bit of writing if people are to do that.
Chapter 19, okay.
Yeah. We're in the home stretch now. There's like this is a very short chapter, and then there's like there's 22 chapters, and then there's tributaries and the back matter, and that's it. So we're getting there. What an epic journey.
Kind of like the starting and continuing of the Sangha.
Exactly. An epic journey. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing.
I think I'm going to bow out at this time. We're still having more weather. It's going nuts out here.
Gosh. Well, take care of yourself, Ed.
Be
Yes.
safe.
Take care, everybody. Thank you.
Bye. I'll read what I wrote.
Okay.
Reading and writing are a pleasure for me. Mispronouncing and misreading, listening and sharing in a loving and patient group are a privilege. Thank you.
It's true. We've been doing this a long time now.
But you didn't always feel that way, did you?
Misreading and mispronouncing all the time.
Yes. You haven't always been okay with that, have you?
No, I guess it has changed over the time. You're muted, Melissa.
And I was being so profound too. I said, doesn't it really affect you, the way the group receives you? It's one thing to, and I know this from, you've obviously heard me read, but it's how it comes, whether the corrections or the listening or whatever are done in a loving way, or if they're done in a particularly correctional way, as though you should really know this already. For me, that makes a huge difference. And the group is very good about just helping and not being too critical.
There's a big difference between correction and judgment.
Mm-hmm.
So
Definitely.
it's sort of the difference between coaching and criticism.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of the things we really try to work on, especially for people who are in any kind of a leadership position, is that distinction is really important.
And I just have to say, Milan, your accent is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It gives a lyricism to the way you read English that's very nice. I can share if you'd like. It's kind of
Yes, of course.
different. Okay. I didn't get finished. I don't think I ever do. Okay. I find this study of Appamada, its beginnings and its growth, to be so fascinating. The Sangha itself seems so open to trying new things, not just trying, but putting thought, effort, and heart into each proposal. Even I think if ultimately it doesn't work out, there's no sense of failing, only satisfaction in that it was tried. I know individuals would have some emotions to work out if their project doesn't go quite the way they thought it would. But ultimately, I think that there is a feeling of having learned and grown. The part about reaching out so far into other countries and cultures is wonderful to me, truly following the Buddha's teachings. I wonder about things that didn't work out and will ask about these. I wonder if the people of this Sangha take more chances or see more opportunities in their home life and work. Are they able to convince other non-Sangha members around them to step out on quote faith unquote, as it were? And if so, what the results were? Does it only work well because the people that are in the Sangha or at the Sangha are of like mind and acceptance of Buddha's teaching? And what is in his teachings that allows the willingness to reach out and try and succeed in so many ways? I'm interested in learning this so that maybe I can pass it on and create lasting change when I reach out. Maybe I will finally discover what makes things work.
So many great questions in what you wrote. It's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. Those are very profound questions.
Thank you.
At that college I was at, one of our questions was, what can we do to encourage the African American male? And so we looked at, and other people were doing this too, all over the country, programs where things seemed to work and it didn't. But a lot of times it comes down to individual people, not the program.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I agree.
So that's
But
surprising.
what?
Isn't
Did
that
you?
surprising?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, another thing that was interesting, there was an old teacher of education, and she told me about a study where they divided successful teachers and non-successful teachers, ones whose students did well and not, and then they had them teach in all the modalities, and it didn't matter what the good teachers were teaching; their students would still be successful. So, well, I'll read mine.
Yeah.
That's not what I wrote. A lot of our groups, with some exceptions, have 3 to 5 people. I wonder if this is because of the large number of groups, with the idea that if we had less groups, more would come. The offerings are rich. They go far beyond just sitting. I sometimes wonder if we are conveying more about the Dharma than helping people become the Dharma. I noticed in Madison they have what seems to be just a couple of weekly offerings, and people seem to interact with a larger group. Is this advantageous? Our interests are so diverse. How do we meet them? There are many gates to Appamada. Too many, I don't know. So that's stuff we've been talking about.
Yeah. It's one of the reasons I wanted you to pare back the reading groups.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of offerings, and they grew out of, at least when they were formed, the perceived need and the ways in which people wanted to pursue deeper study or um, training or whatever. So yeah, it's true. There's quite a lot of them.
I noticed at our college once, I was just astonished, like when I looked at the number of majors we had, like 70 or so, some crazy number.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Dharma gates are boundless, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. My feeling is whatever connects people to the Dharma is valuable. So we have people in inquiry who, they don't come and practice with us regularly. They do whatever they do, with either other spiritual traditions or their own solitary practice, but they are still committed, connected, they're still benefiting from the teachings. So yeah, what else are we going to do?
Well, it also makes people feel seen and wanted and accepted if you can have a group that's 3 people, you
Yeah.
know, or it might have grown to a bigger size and then has come down, and because what you were saying, it still makes that important, and not just to the participants, but it shows the importance of that different nature to the entire group, I would think.
Yeah. I mean, some of these things arose out of sort of a necessity, like women in Zen. It was kind of a necessity to counter the adverse effects of so much male-dominated literature about the teachers in Buddhism. It was
Mhm.
really necessary. Other programs got started as a way to address people's different schedules. So when we're
Mhm.
dealing with householders, we're not dealing with monastics. So we have people who are only able to come at certain times. So that grew up. So it's kind of interesting. I mean, even looking at them now, even though their attendance may be small, they're serving people.
Mhm.
And I'd hate to say, well, we've got to have a cutoff point here. Let's see if there are fewer than 8 people. No, we're not gonna run it. Like that doesn't make sense to me.
No, I appreciate that it doesn't make sense to you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I basically wrote, I'm always writing, I'm always thinking about the logistics of this whole project, so I basically was just writing about, I'm still brainstorming ways to make the book useful, especially in two main areas: support for emerging sanghas, and also as the seed of a much larger field, case histories of Zen sanghas evolving Zen in the West. So how we are, in the larger picture of how
Mhm.
Zen is evolving in the West. Um, so, uh, so in a sense, the book is kind of a platform that can support a variety of activities in those areas. Like it could lead to some workshops, talks, articles, discussion groups, or collaborations that might lead to a guidebook for sanghas or other kinds of consultation or support. These are possibilities, I suppose, but they're in the distance. First, I need to complete the work on this project. But I am satisfied with how it's turning out. I'm delighted with how it's turning out, and
Oh, good.
Kim is spearheading the black and white version, which he says will make the color version
No,
superior.
actually, Cassie has taken it over.
Oh, great!
First, she was going to do the second half, and then she said, "Would you like me to do the first half?" And since I'm trying to learn to say yes, or something, I said that would be great. But I love the idea. She's so good at bookmaking and knowing how photographs should be in books, and
Yeah.
also I think they need to have one person behind them because any two people would have different ideas of how they should be, and
Right.
that won't be good. So she claimed she would do it in a day or so. So
What? Do you know how many hundreds of photographs are in the book?
yeah, well, it goes pretty quick. So anyway, we'll see.
Yeah.
Oh my
She
gosh.
said 2 or 3 hours for my half. So,
Wow.
but she didn't do that yet today. But
Oh, that's amazing.
yeah, but anyway, she said she's going to do it.
Oh, that's terrific. Well,
That is
that's
so wonderful.
just a wonderful idea. And once that's done, and once the editing is done, then I can put the black and white images and the edited version of the text together. And then we'll just output pages, and then it's kind of ready to print, which is surprising.
So exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting. And Alice is very enchanted with the project. She's not telling me things that I expected, like take this whole piece out, like cut this chapter out of the book. Like she's not, like saying that kind of thing. So it worries me a little bit, do I need someone else to do that kind of hatchet job on it, or I don't know myself. I don't know what to do. So,
I think maybe you should accept the fact that you're a very good writer and big chunks don't need to be taken out.
oh, that would be wonderful to think that.
I would say
It would
that
be,
is the case. I mean, I've done a lot of editing. I don't see anywhere in here where you'd want to take a big chunk out. And
oh,
it's really not as long. I think it feels a lot longer while we're doing this because we're going piece by
by
piece by
piece,
piece by
yeah.
piece. But if you were sitting down and reading it, it would go a lot faster or listening to it.
Yeah, I realized that because the narrative is only on the left-hand side, it's not as long as the page count seems. It's more like a 300-page book than it is like a 670-page book or whatever.
Right.
There's a lot of it that, there's all the back matter and all the stuff that isn't really narrative. So, so maybe it's not so bad. I don't know.
It's wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been so much fun to put together. I can't even tell you how much fun it's been, like a big collage, poem, love letter. So, yeah, it's really been fun. And getting more people involved was really the key for me. Like that was the thing that really made it all worthwhile. Getting more voices into it, getting more, uh, you know, of the uh, uh, reflections from Sangha members and things is so good. Yeah. So, and because I want to celebrate what's happened, like it's just a kind of a magical thing. So if we don't have a record of it, we don't know how did this all get put together? How did this all actually happen? So it's because everybody,
Another hope.
Yeah. It's because it's what everybody seemed to want to do together. Yeah. Which is so heartening. All right. We have to start.
Malin wants to say something.
Oh, Belen.
Yeah, I vaguely remember the prologue, or I don't know if we read an introduction or prologue, and I'm mentioning because I am considering to submit a lecture for the some lecture based on the story of Zen in Mexico, which is basically absent, and it is because of Japanese migration in the country and several other historical facts. And as you mentioned now that who are you intending to target this book among many other audiences, it could be interesting to let people know how or why this project is driven and so on, because it's very important literature, I guess, for the subject.
Definitely. You definitely, like my theory about this is that I want that history written by the people who lived it, not by some distant historians who are sort of trying to figure out what happened. Like there's not enough recorded material for historians to be able to piece together how these sanghas made adaptations to the cultures that they were in, right? And so I think this is very important historically, and it's very important that it be told by people who have that lived experience. So this is this has been my sort of my uh, call to action in the American Zen Teachers Association, and will be for LZTA also. Like we need to provide the texture of this history, not just some distant facts. So there are histories of Zen in America, but they are written by historians. And they're usually a survey of a whole bunch of sanghas instead of the texture of the particulars of how a sangha developed. So it's more about big movements. So I think it's really important. But I may be the only one on the planet that thinks that. It just seems that way to me. It seems like there's a big gap there. There's not much discussion of that. So, and I'm not really a historian, like that's not really my field, but I feel like if we are faithful to what we know about how things developed, then that really creates a record that other people can find useful.
Mm-hmm.
And then if other sanghas do it, you build knowledge in the field and you can share best practices, and this like didn't work at all, and you get a sense of movement out of it. So anyway, that's my grandiosity.
For this year.
Yeah, for this year. Who knows what it'll be next year?
And were you going to say something?
Nope. I'm so glad you came, Anne.
Yeah, thanks. I'm glad I was able to.
I've been thinking about you a lot and thinking about how tired you looked the last time I saw you, and you've got a lot on your plate.
Yeah.
So thanks for carving out time for this. Yeah. Okay, we're at our time. We're past our time. Thank you so much, and I will see you in 2026.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Good night.
Happy Hanukkah.
Thank you. Happy Hanukkah to you.
Thank you.